folks. What's going on? Chasing the Truth is on the air. Across the board, let's see, we're in Twitter, we're in the YouTube over on Chasing the Truth, Sean G. We're all over. Let me start over. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Paranormal Radio app and Dark Waters Radio channel. So, hey, what is going on? Howdy. Let me stop this thing. All right. What's going on, brother? Ladies and gentlemen, Dogman, Primal Cry, Sue, Shauna, hey there. And let's see who else is in here. Big Cole, Miss JJ. Who else? Bass. All right, but we're going to do open lines tonight, like I usually do. Fridays is my scheduled interview of the week. I'm usually doing 6 hours a week of on-air live stuff. How's the audio, by the way? Just to get out there and see what's going on with you. Let's see. Who else is in there? Julie, what's up? All I can tell you was, oh, man, I had an epiphany today. One of those life-altering, weight on your shoulders kind of epiphanies. I'm like, okay. So, how you guys doing? 931-994-6917 is the number to call. Let me make sure that I've got, let's see, what do we got here? Let me make sure that this thing is turned off. Yep. All right, cool. We'll be sharing out the, hey, Jean-Paul, what's going on, brother? If you want to be in the show, let me go ahead and hit an invite. Going to be in the show, I'll drop a StreamYard link in there. Bass, if you want to be in here, more than welcome. If your brother's in there or whoever else wants to go in there, make sure that if you get in that link, turn off the audio from your YouTube. All you have to do is have just the audio. If you want to show your face, that's fine. If you're not, you know, I've got a crazy, ugly-looking mug anyway, enough for everybody. So who knows? Jen, what's up? Wow. So today marks my 20th day of riding, my near-death experience. And Lord have mercy, what can I tell you? It just seems like, okay, how much more am I going to remember? And I don't know. As I wake up and go, wow. All right. Primal Cry. What's up? Sue from down under. So anything interesting happening in the world besides all this craziness over in Ukraine, which prayers for anybody in harm's way over there, but I think there's a lot of disinformation happening over there. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, let's see what we got going on here. Let me check the. Actually, I learned a new thing today over on the Nightmare Nation TV. Definitely go over to let's see, Vala Nightmares 2.0, and you'll figure out how, you know, if you want to be a part of that Nightmare Nation and get a monthly or bi-monthly subscription. I think there was one yearly subscription there that was still up and running. Let me see if I got something going on here. Bill, come on. What am I doing here? Aha. We'll see this here in just a second, and we'll share this out. Definitely looking forward to hearing more, but I might tell a little bit. There was a lot of stuff that got pretty damn personal in the book I wrote today. Concerning a lot of stuff that happened with what did I write about today? Right, I wrote about my encounter with the devil, and I have told the story to like a sharp close of the story. Oh, you're having devastating floods throughout Australia. I'm sorry to hear about that. Lord have mercy. What's up with that? But let's go ahead and hit this 931-994-6917. You can call and text or whatever that particular number. I will. The only thing about texting that number, it's just an alphanumeric text. I can get like websites or something like that thrown at me, but rich text, meaning media or stuff like that, I won't be able to get through that number through Skype. What are you guys drinking now? I got medium dark roast, McCafe, I think. But yeah, let me make sure I got all that stuff over here. Where? Shit, I hit the wrong damn button. Button. Who's got buttons? Yeah, let me make sure I got this active up here. All right. Add me a Thoria. Maggie, how you doing tonight? This is wild. I thought, are you working tomorrow? I thought you were a early riser on the weekdays. But I appreciate you being by. All right. So what do you guys want to do? You want to hear a little bit about what I wrote? Which I probably won't talk a lot about what I wrote specifically today, but I talked about in the writing was my encounter with the devil, and I have in past shows I would drink an ice water. Well, that's cool. I have said up to the point where this thing wanted to rip me apart, tear me limb for limb, and then rebuild me. And the parting gift was, when you're ready to remember, you will. And there was a hard fucking brick wall right there. I couldn't look past it. And I can't, well, I can look past some of it now. And in retrospect, it's like, okay, now I know why certain things have happened. I have had a whole lot of deja vu. I know I haven't told a couple people that I haven't had deja vu, but I've had a whole lot of deja vu, and since some events happened in my life, specifically about starting this book. It seems like the catalyst was this book. Real hot in the at the moment, huh? Oh well, hold on just a second. I'm hitting the wrong thing. I've gotten used to two different systems, OBS and then this StreamYard. 32 people watching. Hey, hit those thumbs up, by golly. Share and like this stream. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. YouTube likes the interaction. That's the cool thing about this place. YouTube's kind of weird. They don't like live streams, but you never know. So let's see, what else have I? Well, what can I say? This particular day I wrote about revealed to me a lot of personal stuff that is near and dear to my heart. I started writing about the 8 people that were I had argued with God about. Hey, Gene, what's up? Appreciate you dropping by there, buddy. Let's see. I've named 1, 2, 3 of the 8 in the book so far. Wrote a little bit about them. Dark Woods 5. Oh, cool. What's the 5 mean? Sorry, I got a little bit of a runny nose tonight. That's what this dry heat I have in this house, this oil heat. Best heat in the world is either wood, coal, or oil heat. Hot, dry as a bone, but it makes your nose kind of high five. Hey, all right, buddy. High five. So, holy cow. Let's see. Should I? Now, I'm not going to name the 8. I'll just leave the 8 in the book to be revealed. May not. Well, no, I will not be able to name at least 3 of them for reasons. But as you read the book, you'll find out. So, the book seems to be a catalyst for a lot. Yep, it is. There's a whole lot of catalysts going on. Like, share, and subscribe as Wendy Wilson, Turquoise, and Sasquatch. Definitely go over to Wendy Wilson's YouTube channel, Turquoise and Sasquatch. She's been on my show. I can tell you how many times. How many times have you called in or been a guest on my show, Wendy? It's what, 5, 6 times, something like that. Boy, I love coffee. Love, love, love coffee. Gee whiz. Well, anyway, so the 8 people that argued with God about. Name 3 so far in the book. Yep. One you definitely know. If you're listening to me, you definitely know one of them. Pretty famous, one of them. So, a couple others that you probably have heard me talk about, but that's about it. Marquita, what's going on? Appreciate you. Yeah, she's been on my show. Holy cow! Last Saturday, Marquita called in and she gave. Wow, I was like, honey, I didn't know you had that much paranormal stuff going on in your life. Whispers TV, hey, what's up? Well, I don't know about the legend part, but I got a face for radio. That's all I can tell you. If you want to hear some good ass paranormal stories, go back to last Saturday night's Chasing Truth on the Dark Waters channel. I think, Marquita, you were the last caller. So, if you want to thumb through all the 4 or 5 callers that I had that night, listen to Marquita's stories. That was just absolutely amazing. Wow. Don, what's going on? Doctor Who, Gordon. Hey, buddy. What's up with you folks? 931-994-6917. If you're on any other platform other than YouTube, that's the number to call to get on. If you are over on YouTube and you want to be, go over to Chasing Truth, Sean G. I've done a live stream over there. I'm about 20 some odd numbered of followers over on TikTok, and I'll be doing some live streaming, simulcasting over there, along with the other platforms I automatically do right now. So who knows what's going to happen over there? TikTok will probably get a bunch of fucking hot pockets, but that's all right. I'm used to hot pockets. We can do hot pockets all damn day. But yeah, there you go. All right, so let me get this invitation here and hit it to clipboard. Like I said, drop a link in the chat right there. Let's see. Changes may not be cancel. I don't want that. Let's see. Oh yeah. Who was this that sent me this? If you're still going, when I get out, okay. All right. I might have Truth coming on. Bass, if you want to jump in, your brother might be on a little bit later. So there you go. Let's see. I'm going to play. Let me see if I can get this one. Here's something that Truth sent me. Oh, James. Let's see if this will play up here. Paste. Oh shit, Sean. What the hell? Come on, man. I just want a little bit of something. I know a lot of people want to hear me talk about my near-death experience, but I freaking relive that every freaking day. I there for a while, I would wake up and say, well, okay, this is going to hurt. Echoes throughout every little thing in my life. And that's absolutely true. That's what God told me. Every little inch of my life has that echoing. This is going to hurt. But I want to do something a little different. I'll pull up the Nightmare Nation TV here in just a little bit, and then we'll shit. All right, buddy. Let's see what I can do here. Let's do this and pull it up here. We got a boop. Bass, brother, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. How you doing, Sean?
I can't complain. Actually, I had a pretty good day. Can't complain at all.
Nice.
I mean, started out kind of rough and tough, but as they progressed, it's like, holy cow, this is actually a pretty damn good day. So, oh well. So what you?
I freaking got a case of that epileptic chest pain came back.
Oh shit! What happened there?
No, I was at work Monday and like I knew the feeling. I'm like, oh, please don't tell me this shit is happening again. So I immediately, when I got home, I called my brother and told him to bring me some ibuprofen because I am not going up to the hospital again.
Oh shoot. Well, heat pads. You got a heat pad?
No.
Uh, how about rice and sock? You can make a heat pad out of that in the microwave. Throw the rice in the sock, tie a knot on it, and throw it in the microwave for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then it'll heat that rice up. And then you use
I,
that and put it
I can
against your.
honestly say I've never heard that before.
Hey man, I've used that so many. I actually learned that. That's an old trick, a respiratory therapist trick. You go in and you're aching all over, and they're like, here, rice, sock. Throw it in there, and it heats it up, and it stays warm for a while. So yeah, go for it. It's an old trick I learned doing respiratory therapy. I learned acupressure in respiratory therapy too. That's kind of weird, but there's all kinds of crazy stuff. I learned that it's not related to respiratory therapy. But
I've always been sketchy about acupuncture.
well, it's acupressure where you
Oh,
find a little point.
oh.
Yeah, I can get rid. Yeah, there's a couple of places where you can get rid of headaches. You can grab the
Oh
inside the
yeah.
webbing of
Okay.
your hand here, pinch the living shit out of it for about 2 minutes, and it'll usually get rid of a headache. I mean, pinch it as hard as you can. It's not going to hurt you. There's not enough nerve endings in there for you to hurt you or whatever, but that'll work. There's a spot beside T3 on your right side of your spine.
That's
Usually, that one, if you search around right there about an inch or two away from the spine, there'll be a big old pump knot, as we call it. Rub that, and it'll hurt like the dickens. But I don't know about acupuncture. Me, needles just does not work. I stuck a ton of needles in people doing arterial blood gases, but that's a different story.
mm.
So did you work today or not?
Yeah, I was at work all day. I just got home like maybe 40 minutes ago.
All right.
It was
Let's
all
see.
right. No idiots today.
Well, let's see what Oh shit! Your brother sent something.
I thought I heard somebody boop into the back end.
Did they? Let's see. Oh yeah, no, that's to me and you. That's it. That's all
Mm.
that's in here. Let's see. Your brother sent me this probably late last night. You may have sent me something too, but
Uh,
this is over on the Ticker Talker, whatever the hell that is. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
mm. Yeah, I can see it. Can't.
It
It
looks a
looks.
little bit demonic to me.
Can when it stand when it stands up, can you see the chest? Not too sure. Oh, make my damn
Okay,
screen
hold on
bigger.
a second if I can hit the. It wants to cycle. Oh, well, shit. No, I can't see the chest. It's just whatever. It's
Yeah,
glowing
that.
eyes.
Oh, it's the eyes. All right. All right.
Yeah, right there. I don't know if you can see
Kind
that.
of, kind of head is that?
I don't know. It could be one of those Viking hats or whatever, painted black. Could be. I don't know.
I was gonna say the eyes are too low to
I
be where they are.
don't know. What do you guys think it is? It's a goat,
Uh,
according to Don.
you know what? Now that I
Those are-
think about it, the way it opens up, that looks like it's a cloak. Like you ever see Doctor Strange? How he has a thing that comes around his neck, like that
Oh
cloak.
yeah, Yeah.
That's what it kind of looks like. Like it flaps it open and it stands up.
True enough. True enough. Possibly. Let's
Oh,
see. Let's go ahead and get that.
that is
Oh, that's a good
strange.
one. Let's see.
I
Did you
did
send
send you
me
the.
anything?
I sent you the one the other day where the tree hit the dude in the head.
All right.
No, I don't know if you want to play that.
Okay.
That's the one where the dude was up cutting the chainsaw and the tree smacked him in the head.
Oh yeah, he got slammed down to the damn ground. Damn. Yeah, that was not something.
That
50
sounded like
Shades
a Bigfoot
Away.
knock.
What's this? 50 Shades Away? I don't know what
Oh,
that is.
I don't know, but I
And
seen
then,
that one video you sent me the other day that like what the I don't know what the hell that was, dude. That little
oh
wolf
yeah,
face
yeah,
thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Let's pull that up. I saw this. It was on my Facebook feed. I was like, holy cow, what is that? And I was like, as much as deep fakes are, let's see if I can pull this up. We'll go from there. All right, let's go from here. I don't know what the hell this thing is, folks. Saw this on, of course, Facebook. You know how Facebook is. It's a cesspool. Just about anything that could go wrong is wrong over there. And here it is. I don't know what the hell that is. Is that a doll or what is that?
It
Let's see. Let
looks
me
like
get
it's
that.
breathing.
I don't know what that is. It looks like a doll to me, kind of.
Oh,
I don't know. Or maybe. Let me see if I can stop it. Right there's that. You can see. Could it be like maybe a doll that was made into a pig or what is those koala bears?
mm-hmm.
Kind of looks like a koala bear hand, maybe. Uh oh.
Nah. I put my cell phone on so I could watch it. Look at the chat.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
It's on pause. I don't know what the hell that is.
Excuse me. 1 second. Cough got me. Some, I don't know if it's one of those crazy coughs, but who knows? All right. I don't know what that is. I think I would suspect, according to my stupid intellectual non expert brain, that looks kind of fake to me in some sense of the word. But it could be 100,000% real. Don't know.
If it is real, that's a science experiment going wrong.
Well, I have seen in the 15 years in healthcare, I have seen some oddities that was birthed. Not a lot of them, but I have seen them, and who knows? Who knows?
Would you mind giving a little detail?
Let's see. I've seen twins that were born that were kind of Siamese. Where did I see that? I saw that over in Lee. Well, anyway, I can't say where I've seen it, but as one of the hospitals, I saw that they were in the process of splitting and making two twins. But apparently, it was like Siamese twins. I think those were airlifted. That's been a hot minute ago. That's probably been. I started in respiratory therapy in 97, 96, probably about 97. So it's been a hot minute, 20 some years ago. But yeah, could it be something like that? Maybe. They've got this. There's this abnormality where they'll have these hands where you'll just have two fingers instead of four here, and it looks like a lobster claw. And I can't remember what that um, genetic thing is that they're born with that. But they've got pretty functioning hands. It's just that whatever it is, they've got three fingers instead of five.
Ever see a baby born with like wet feet, wet hands?
Absolutely. I've seen that. If anything, probably about 4 or 5 times. Yeah, it goes away. I don't know if it goes away, but I've seen it a couple of times.
Anyone with a tail?
Once, once, and I think they did
Really?
surgery on. Once they did the surgery on that thing. It wasn't very big, but I think they did surgery on it. But again, that was. I've seen a lot of stuff when I first started doing respiratory therapy. When I first started doing a particular job, I saw a lady when I started doing sleep studies for a living, years after I started respiratory therapy. And she had this wild genetic abnormality that would not allow her to sleep. She could take drugs and put herself under, but in a week's time, she probably sleeps 2, maybe 3 hours. And she was in her late 20s, and she looked like she was 40 or 50 years old at that time. So it was definitely doing some crazy stuff with her. But she was a wonderful lady. She just couldn't sleep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Was she like the only person you ever seen with that kind of
That is
affliction?
so
Or
rare. That is so rare in sleep labs. You probably wouldn't see it in your entire career. And I just happened to see it. So, there's
okay,
Bonita. What's going on?
okay. Other than that, what's one of the strangest things you seen during your sleep study?
Sleep study. Narcolepsy was the strangest thing. There's this sleeping disease that people, you've seen people that if you just spook them, they fall down like you've been shot. That is the strangest disorder that I have ever seen. I've seen a few people that had it so bad that they've sheltered themselves inside. They rarely get outside because if they see something new or get startled, they fall into the ground, and are asleep. And there was this sleepwalking is also another one. There was this little old lady, which I'm not, making it. I'm not violating any HIPAA stuff because I don't think this lady's alive now because she was an elderly lady at the time when I did this, probably about 15 years ago. She was so bad with this narcolepsy. It was called cataplexy. That's what they named this disorder, where if you get spooked, laugh, cry, or whatever, or it could be as easy as seeing somebody brand new that you hadn't seen in a while and get surprised. Oh, I hadn't seen that fella in a while, and you're asleep. This lady was so bad that I literally had to hold her head up with my hand while I was doing all the putting the lead wires on her, and with her daughter standing, hold her and say, "Mom, wake up, wake up." And she definitely had narcolepsy. It was just amazing. So there was this one guy that I love his heart. I'm not saying that as a southern thing. He sleptwalked so bad to the point where the neighbors around his area carried blankets in their cars, just because one, he didn't like sleep with clothes on, so he would sleepwalk and start walking down. And I said, "Well, how long of a trip did you go on?" And he said, "Well, I've been known to walk half a mile in my sleep." And he'd be tripsing back, and then bare, bare ass naked. And a neighbor would come by, and they'd pull out a blanket out of the back of the trunk and haul him back to his house. That's just that was the strangest thing there. That's one of the craziest things. Um, Ghost stuff. I've seen ghosts like crazy in sleep labs. Let's see. Who else is there?
Any shadow figures?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of shadow figures all over a freaking hospital. What are you talking about, man? I um I probably seen 2 or 3 dozen shadow figures, and they all were harbingers of death. If I saw a shadow figure in the hospital, I usually found a dead body or somebody that was about ready to die. Let's see. One that comes to mind. Actually, two, same floor, just two different people. Saw a shadow figure pass me by as I was walking down the hallway. And I was about ready to turn the corner, and I flipped back to see what it was or who it was that just ran by me silently. And it had no time to go anywhere. Now, the closest place it could have dunked into was a big old door to a nurse's lounge. And if you open these old fire doors, they creak like all get out. So I don't know where it went. I looked around to see if somebody saw it, and nobody was around. And I kind of went, all right, okay, another one of those. Turned the left corner down the next hallway, and a lady sticks her head out of the doorway and says, "Help! My husband just fell." Walk in, and he was in complete cardiac arrest. Saw some crazy stuff with that fella. He was in his early 50s, probably about my age right now. Never got him back. Down in the same floor, different hallway. Opened up the door to come out from the monitoring room. As soon as I opened up the door, another one of those black things just ran right by me. I saw, I was like, okay. Looked back at the monitor tech that was looking at the Holter monitor heart rhythms on the screen. She never saw it. And I was like, okay. Well, I got up to go check on a heart monitor patient for her that the leads fell off or supposedly fell off. Went in there in that room, opened up the door, knocked, and nobody answered. So I got in there and I looked and I was like, nobody's in here. Maybe went out to smoke or whatever. And I just so happened to see a foot sticking out the bottom of the foot of the bed. And that dude was dead right there. And did a code on him. And that was it. Yeah. It was just strange. Saw a couple while I was in the sleep lab doing sleep studies. And every time I saw one run through the sleep lab, a code would be called within just a few minutes over the intercom in the middle of the night. Bonita wants to know if I'm doing well on the writing. Yes, ma'am, I am. I every time I wake up, I say, God, what do you want me to write about today? And it's just like, the only thing I have problems out of is putting into words what I experienced. And then I had a good friend, Julie, that said, hey, you just have to break the rules. You can, make up stuff as you go along, make up new language or new words or whatever to go with it. But yeah, there you go. Hey, folks, if you want to call in, 931-994-6917 for the folks that are off platform of the YouTube over on, let's see, Paranormal Radio app or the, Twitter or Facebook. If you want to call in, go for it. But love to hear from you. Love to see what you guys have been experiencing. Oh. Academy Authority, we had a shadow figure at the hospital in the pediatric floor. It was either at the end of the hall or peeking out of the ghost booze room. Okay. That's kind of weird. There was a hospital I was first in the rest. Yeah, it was one of the first hospitals I worked in ever. And their pediatric, not the pediatric floor, their OBGYN floor would periodically, not have mamas in there. And that floor would be shut down. And I used to go from second floor down to first floor and do a shortcut to go to respiratory therapy through the OBGYN. It would become, other than the emergency lights, everything would be dark. Walk through, and I saw a freaking nursing rocker where, the rocker where nursing mothers would be, sit. And the damn thing was rocking and nobody was in there. There was nobody in anywhere. Didn't hear anything or anything like that. And I was like, of course, I ran out of that place pretty damn quick, and I quit going down there for a while, especially if there was no nursing down there at all.
So are all these sightings in one building or different buildings?
Oh, different buildings. Let's see. How many hospitals did I work in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you count one that I was over, but they closed it. But I went back into it after they closed the hospital and moved into a new um, hospital that they built. And I went back in there to recover some old equipment. And the only people that was in that old hospital that was built back in the '60s was myself, the lab, the dude that what was that? He did the equipment for the hospital. I forgot what the name of it is. Biomed guy. Myself and the security guard. And that was the only three people in that entire hospital. I saw all kinds of crap. And that biomed guy, he's like, man, let's just get out of here. This thing's creepy. I saw some shadow figures in that one too. Yeah.
So basically, in every hospital.
Without fail. There's a lot of energy that is released. A lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of pent up whatever. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that goes in there. You would think the cold storage for the bodies, the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
You think that would be creepy as hell, but I've been in that a bunch of them with dead bodies in there, and I never really felt anything. The creepiest one places, excuse me, that I had ever been in was ERs or ICUs. Now, that kind of relates back to a reason why there's a lot of pent up energy and stuff
Mm-hmm.
that's released. Those are the places. Or on a cardiac floor or whatever, you would definitely see people pass away in. You know. Not so much OBGYNs, but that one rocking chair got to me.
Uh, they call that would be Reapers. Pretty sure that would be Reapers in the hospital.
Reapers, yeah. Well, I can't say what those shadow figures that I saw were, but I usually found a dead body after I saw one, without fail. Or if I did see one, there was somebody that was close to. There was one that comes to mind. I was doing a ventilator check on a patient and drawing some morning blood gases, and there was a whole process of sterile field and all this stuff. So I had to pay attention to the art line, his arterial blood gas line. But actually, I don't know. Can you see this? Probably can. There's a little bitty mark right there. Looks like a puncture. Yeah, right there. See that little
Mm-hmm.
white spot right there? That's where I was on the ventilator for 9 days, 8 days, and they had an art line in my wrist for that long. And what that does is saves your arteries from being poked every so often. So, that's what I had where I lost my left leg. There's a sterile field technique that you have to do, and you cannot not pay attention to it. And that morning, I was doing a serial blood gas with a patient. And my entire focus was on this art line to make sure I'm not going to one contaminate the arterial blood gas line, or fuck up and then for whatever reason the art line breaks or whatever, and then that would be a write up right there. But anyway, I what we usually did was during the night shift I was on, we cycle in, cycle out, 1 week on, 1 week off, and about every two shifts, two complete shifts of work, the rotations, excuse me, we would have potluck, and it was time for potluck for the I think like 3 days later, and I was we usually some of the shit that we chit chat about, and there was this lady by the name of Janie that was notorious to be hard of hearing, but she would be able to hear you if she wanted to talk to you. So you know, but she was she had hearing aids, and God love her, she was just she's just one of those iconic people that you'll never forget in your life. But I thought she come into that ICU room where I was doing this blood gas on this patient, and I started talking to her and say, "Hey, what do you think about bringing for the potluck?" And never got any answer out of her. It was morning around, so I know she's probably just paying attention and doing whatever she needed to do with the monitors that was on the other side of the bed. And I got to the point where I was just chit chatting with her. And, if I caught her, maybe she wasn't in the mood to talk or whatever. I got to the point where I could look up. And I looked up, and there stood this big ass shadow figure right across from me, almost exactly parallel to me. And as I raised my eye level up, I saw the midriff about right here. It was like it either fell through a hole in the floor, trap door, or something just pulled it up underneath the bed. I didn't get to see the top of it or whatever, but it was pretty good size. And I was like, what the hell did I just see? So I looked out, and there was another little lady. Her name was Helen. And she's like 5 foot nothing, and at the nurse's desk, you barely could see, probably about this much of her head over top of the desk. I was like, well, shit, she's not going to be able to say I saw anything. Well, I walked out there after I got done. I said, was anybody in that room with me while I was doing blood gas? And of course, Helen was one of these old school nurses. She said, what the fuck are you talking about, Sean? There was nobody in there. I was like, okay, Helen, that's all right. But yeah, that Helen was just she's been retired. She retired before I got out of respiratory therapy or did she? Well, she retired before I had to retire myself. So, but she was one of those old school nurses that would tell you old combat stories where you'd have some crazy guy that was high on drugs or whatever. And she said, I didn't give a shit. So did they come at me? I would grab an IV pole, and it wouldn't matter if there was $1,000 piece of equipment on it or not. I'd pull it off and wrap that pole around their head if they got after me. Yeah. There was some crazy stuff that I learned from her, and it worked. But if nurses did what she did, they'd probably get written up by now. This time of age, I don't know. Ooh, that's a little too cold for me to drink. I'm not a big fan of cold coffee. So when's your next video there, Bass? It's coming out.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to make. I'm really leaning towards doing that brisket chili.
Ooh, I made some white chicken chili. Did a crock pot thing. Bought some dried Great Northern beans, soaked them overnight, and oh my god, I gotta get some more of that tonight before I go to bed. Of course, I won't be happy in the middle of the night when I wake myself up stinking the crap out of myself. But there you go. Pizza fixes everything. Yes, it does, Darkwoods. Absolutely.
I'll make pizza. I don't eat it.
You don't like pizza? Why not? You're from New York State, right? You should be.
Yeah. No.
It should be a mainstay.
Dude, I make it. When you make something enough, you tend to steer away from it. I can't remember the last time I actually had a slice of pizza.
Well, I guess so. If you make it and you don't want it. So, what's your favorite food to have since you're cooking all the time professionally for yourself?
For myself or to make for people?
No, for yourself.
Sausage, broccoli, garlic, and oil.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. So why that particular combo? You don't make it often, or is this something that
it's just
your go-to?
That's a go-to.
Okay.
That and a stromboli.
Ooh.
All a stromboli is a roll with like ham, salami, and pepperoni and mozzarella cheese in it. That's all.
Yeah. I just wrote that down. Damn, son, why in the hell did I talk to you? Every time you start talking about food, I want to make it.
Dude, I'll tell you how to make it. That is very easy. All you do is you get like the Pillsbury pre-made dough.
Yeah.
Get yourself some ham, some salami, some pepperoni, layer it up, put some mozzarella cheese down, and just roll it. Crimp the ends, throw it in the oven. I want to say if you want to cook it fast, 500 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes.
Hmm. Looks like they're having a conversation about paranormal in the chat there. Hey, if anybody wants to come in, let me go ahead and hit the crap. Well, for whatever reason, it didn't want to do that. I thought I copied and pasted. I'll drop a link over in Chasing the Truth, Sean G, the YouTube. If you're on other platforms, head over there and grab that link. And you can pop in. You just have to follow the instructions. You don't have to show your face. So you just have to have a microphone. But if you want to show your face, great. If not, that's all right too. Oh, let's see.
Hey Cole, I've never cooked walleye, but one of my good friends, he has some great recipes for it. I'll ask him and I'll post them.
What would be the difference? Is walleye a white fish or is it a dark fish, meat wise?
Uh, um,
Or is it more
it's
like
like a
like
white fish, I
catfish or
guess.
something
But
like that?
no, it's not like catfish. It's
Oh,
more
man,
more
now I want
flaky.
catfish. More flaky.
Yeah, I make a good buttered salmon though.
That's cool. I love salmon. Oh shit! Now I got salmon.
Yeah, because my one buddy he goes upstate to Pulaski during the salmon run, and he last year I want to say he caught like a 35 pounds, like 30 pound salmon. No, yeah, something like that, and he gave me a bunch of salmon steaks. Yeah, threw a couple on the grill, cooked some in the oven, and froze the rest of
Mm.
them.
That sounds pretty good to me. I've had shark before. It's kind of. I didn't cook it right. It was really freaking rubbery. I don't know what I did wrong, but I thought I could cook fish pretty easy. A couple minutes on the grill and poof, it's done. But it was, you could almost bounce the daggum thing off the plate.
Dark Woods, I don't make cakes or pies, but I can make some pretty good desserts though. I'm not too keen on the baking,
I'm
like
not either.
that kind of
Yeah,
baking.
it's too much precise measuring. I'm pretty much
Hmm.
into tossing whatever. If it's too hot, add a little something to smooth it off or whatever. Easy to fix mistakes. Happy accidents. I kind of like that kind of stuff. But baking, you can't have a happy accident. You might be able to, but I've done some hockey pucks when it comes to baking. Hmm. So you and your brother had a UFO encounter. So when was this? And
Which one?
oh, more than one. I only thought you had the one. Okay.
Oh, the one
No.
with my cousin? No, no. There's been numerous ones.
Wow. Okay.
Not
Well,
anything
keep
like
one.
that with my cousin, but I've seen numerous ones.
Okay. Let's talk about one of them. Which one comes to your mind when I say UFO? I saw a UFO. Which one comes to mind first?
The one that comes to mind first is you ever see the photos of the supposed manta ray looking ones?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, this one house I used to live at, I was outside smoking a cigarette on the back porch, and something told me to look up. And I looked up, and I seen this thing that looked. It was in like the manta ray shape, but it was bending the starlight like Predator.
All right.
That's one. I seen one when I was working at the original site, Woodstock.
Okay.
Um, we actually had one. We was helping my friend move into this house. Actually, it's from where me and Truth had our encounter. It's on the other side of the hill, coming back my way. We helped my friend move in, and I want to say about 70 feet above the trees, there was this craft. Just it took probably 5 minutes to get over our heads. It was moving silently, real slow. My other friends came out there. Was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Well, what do you think it is?" It's like, "Looks like a UFO." Well, there's your answer. But that one, I want to say the wingspan on that, it wasn't circular. It was more. It was long. Couldn't
Okay.
really tell because of the tree line behind me, but I want to say from the middle to the side, it would have been like 40 feet from the middle to each side. So about 80 feet across.
Hmm. Sounds about the size of the TR-3B I saw back in 2009, I think. Yeah, it was 2009. That thing was totally. What did that thing make any noise? That manta ray?
No, that was way too up high in the sky for me to hear it. Like it just so happened, I looked up and it just caught out the corner of my eye, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it was just moving, and it was bending the starlight. And this was back, I want to say, in like 2006, yeah, 2006, 2007, something like that.
Hmm. Have you ever been abducted or anything like that, or missing time?
Yes.
Okay. Would you elaborate on either or?
Uh, it was the incident with Truth and my cousin, where we were driving down the road. My brother seen this white light off in the distance. So, in his infinite wisdom, he decides he wants to go down the road, get off the exit, go over the bridge, and go down a side road. At the time, it wasn't really built up. There was like woods on the left, woods on the right. So we come up, pull to a stop. He hops out the car, and this white light comes from the left to the middle of the opening and starts getting bigger. We're yelling at him, get in the car, get in the car. Next thing y'all know, we're on the back road going to my cousin's house. And don't remember how we got there. And I want to say we left my house at around 7:15, and the trip to my cousin's house is give or take 20-25 minutes. So we should have been there by at least 7:45. We didn't pull up to my cousin's house till about 9:15.
Hmm.
We walked inside. My uncle cursed us out because we were supposed to be there almost 2 hours ago. We went home and never really spoke about it. Then, uh, yeah, that was my cousin. Still doesn't want to talk about it. He's opening up a little bit, but he doesn't like talking about that.
What do you and Truth talk about? Or do you just compare notes and say, yeah, well, there was some missing time and that was about it?
Well, I'm the one that brought up the missing time to him. He didn't even notice it, and
Oh,
that was like a few weeks later. Like, yo, it took us almost 2 hours to get to Uncle Aaron's house, right? He was like, he thought about it. He was like, yeah, holy shit, you're right.
how long does it usually take to get to Uncle Aaron's?
20-25 minutes tops.
Ah,
It's only about 22 minutes.
hmm.
Like depending on how fast you're driving, you can get there in 15. You can get there in 25.
Now, did one of you have some sort of, like an implant or anything like that you thought might have been some sort of weird implant? Like
Yes,
I've got one in my right shin that I have no clue where it's come from.
I got one in my right foot.
Oh, okay.
It's about the size of a BB. I know this just sounds crazy, but if Truth hops on, he could tell you about it because he came over one night when I was on the phone with Walt. And I was like, yo, hop on the phone and tell tell Walt what you feel in my foot. It's about the size of a BB and it's underneath like the main one of the main veins in my foot. I didn't
Okay.
notice that until 2000, like 15, 16.
Right.
And like when I got out of the hospital for being sick, like I would go through this one store and I would always set off the metal detector. Like the anti
Cool.
theft thing.
Yeah. That's weird. Those anti-theft things are. You pass by a charged field. That's where those pillars that you pass through,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes like It makes the tag react to it and transmit, and that's where you get the woo 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 alarm stuff. So whatever it is that's in your foot or whatever it is, transmits RF frequencies.
I don't know. I've never put a RF meter next to my foot, so I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But I was definitely setting off the alarm system for, I want to say, for about a good 4 or 5 months. And all of a sudden it just stopped. But I
That's
still have the thing in my right foot though. And my cousin Burger, he has some kind of crazy scoop mark on his right shin. Doesn't know how he got it.
that is. Well, I have heard several stories about scoop marks that just suddenly appear or whatever, and they have no clue what happened.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, I'm not exactly sure. What would cause that other than maybe an experimentation or something from abduction, possibly.
I'm thinking more like maybe a DNA sample or something. Cause like UFOs and like stuff like that run in my family on both sides.
Okay. All right.
Starting from my grandfather, who was in World War II, all the way up to my mother, my cousins, me, my brother, uh, on my dad's side of the family, my grandmother, my uncles, my dad, a few cousins.
Hmm. So, hmm.
One of the most
The
curious things
truth.
I was ever told was, I want to say this was probably before I was born, maybe. Um, my grandmother told me that UFO flew down the main street of my town and basically shut off the electric everywhere. And she seen one where her house was. It was on like top of the hill, and you could see to the lake that I go fishing at. And on the other side of that lake, there was this place called the Concord Hotel. And I want to say from where that house is, it's about 2 miles. And one night she seen a huge disc hovering over the hotel. This was back in the 80s.
Wow. I got a buddy of mine that was a master sergeant back in uh, when Bush was president, and that's when Saddam was supposedly had the weapons of mass destruction.
Hmm.
But anyway, he said that we were talking about strange stuff that he'd seen, and he talked about this one UFO that he saw down in the Gulf of Mexico at a military base. I think it was U.S. military base, but it was not on U.S. soil. Maybe I think, but anyway, there was a new Louis. He said that came on board, and they were in there to resupply or something like that. I don't know what they were doing, training and supplying or something like that. And night came, and all of a sudden, all the lights went out. It was just nothing with electricity worked. Nothing on his body or anybody that was in his around him. And then he said this big cigar shaped UFO came over top of the camp, hovered there for a while, and Louis just went nuts. It's like, what is that? And then they'd already heard stories about that, and I think Tommy said that he had seen it once before. Said, just wait a minute. As soon as it flies off, all the power come back on. And sure enough, as soon as it flew off, all the power come back on. All the electronics started working again. Military electronics, not the your walkie talkies that you get out of Walmart or whatever. I know there's a umbrella of electronic stuff that they've used in theaters now that they can put on Humvees, and for like 50 yards in any kind of circular diameter of that vehicle, there's not electronic unless it's a military grade electronic will
Hmm.
work. They can run down the street like Baghdad or wherever they were. Uh, Turn that thing on. People with cell phones, well, if they're within that umbrella of operation, it just stops working. But that military, everything just turned off. All their military grade equipment just would not function for whatever reason. He said, I have no clue what it was. I flew over that military base that he was at. But yeah.
That has always made me wonder, like, why are they so interested in our weapons,
Well, there's a
especially the
lot.
nukes?
Yeah, there's a lot of nuke stuff. Well, let's see. Admi Authority, wasn't there a slew of UFO sightings in New York State in the 70s?
Yes, that was no. It was the early, like late '70s, early '80s. That was the, I want to say, Hudson Valley Flat, where people were seeing like a giant triangle UFO. Like thousands of people seen it. New York
Oh,
UFO Flat,
let me see if I can
somewhere in the
find it.
Hudson Valley. Supposedly, the Hudson Valley is a hotspot for strange stuff like that.
Hudson Valley UFO. 1984? Is that it?
Hmm?
That sound about right? 1984?
Mm, well,
I think. UFO swarms of Hudson Valley.
it should
Let's
be
see.
around late '70s, early '80s, like mid '80s.
There's no pictures, just a bunch of stories. Background
Yeah,
82 to 86, New York Hudson River Valley, a place home to many well educated, well respected families, became ground zero for a series of extraordinary UFO sightings.
I want to say over
V shaped.
6,000 people like reported it.
Well, looks like a lot of people. It doesn't say the number of people, just a lot of fluent, well to do, well educated people saw this. Uh, which that doesn't mean a whole lot.
Well, Pine Bush used to
So,
be a hot spot also.
where's that?
Pine Bush, New York.
Pine Woods, New York. Let's see
Yep,
if I
they
can find
actually
it.
have a UFO festival every year.
Pine Woods. UFO invitation spaceship. Okay, visit the Pine Bush. No, I got Pine Bush, not Pine Woods. 2008 UFO sighting, New York State MUFON. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, UFOs are all over the place. Yeah, unfortunately or
Yeah.
fortunately.
Remember, Truth had a documentary from this lady who was at one of the UFOs um, parades on her, and there was this dude, like kind of weird dude, but he said that supposedly there is some kind of underground alien base in the Hudson Valley somewhere.
Hmm. Now I know there is a couple of bases that are not on maps around my area. Um, I could, if I drove, I could probably drive you to where the old dirt road, logging road is, and say, okay, go down that road for about 2 miles, and you'll wind up at a guarded gate. But that would take that long. It'd probably take. Well, it's right around where my mom lives, so it'll probably take about 7 minutes to get there. And to get to that road, I don't know how. I've never been there, but I've been told it's there. I know where the road is. And I was like, there's no base out there. I've been all over that freaking place. And I used to try to date this one girl down that road, actually. I said, I know exactly where that road is. Said that you drive out there and it looks like an old logging road. Old buddy of mine, he was a Louis in the reserves, and he was the officer in charge for the cesspool for the region.
Hmm.
He got orders to go out and collect a broken down deuce and a half, and all he got was the coordinates, GPS coordinates. And he looked at the GPS coordinates and he said, "That's out in the middle of the forest. There's nothing out there." So he called his direct command, and the direct command said, "You will go out to this GPS coordinates and pick up that military piece of equipment, bring it back and fix it." He said, "Yes, sir." So he grabbed the sergeant and they took off in a big wrecker and took off down this path. And the reason why he told me this was, we were just BSing in the middle of the night on night shift. And he said that I told him about a UFO I saw on top of a mountain up in High Knob here in Southwest Virginia. And he said there's all kinds of crazy military stuff up through there. It's hard to tell. He said there's, I drag ABC vehicles off of that top of that mountain every winter. And then he proceeded to tell me about this base, and I was like, "You got to be bullshitting me. There's no base out through there." He said, "Yep, there is." And he took his sergeant out with this wrecker, and whoop, crap. You said they got on this old logging road. He said it didn't look like it had been touched or driven through in a long time. And they drove out maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles, and the sergeant said, "Well, there's nothing out here. Let's turn around." He said, "Nope, we got ordered to go to these GPS coordinates. We will go to these GPS coordinates. If we don't find anything, then we can say we were at these GPS coordinates and there's nothing there to report." And it was all virgin forest. And he said as soon as they were almost there, the forest tree line stopped in a big old field, and there was a big gate, guarded gate with catenna wire over top of the gate. And they drove up at the guard shack, and he said the dude had dark military fatigues on with a U.S. patch on there on his shoulder, handing him the orders. And he made a phone call at the guard shack, come back and said there will be a military escort vehicle arrive at the gate, follow the military vehicle, the escort vehicle. If you deviate from the path of that vehicle, you will be arrested on the spot. So they went in, grabbed the deuce and a half, dragged it out, and he said that they fixed it and stayed on his premises where he was in charge for about 2 weeks. And he, when he come back, it was gone. He didn't know what happened to the vehicle. Somebody picked it up. So he said that I never knew anything about it until then. He said that was a big ass base, and I know where it is, and I have looked on the Google Maps. Ain't a damn place out there. You can see the old logging road.
But you tried Google Earth?
Sure did. It's all virgin forest out through there on Google Earth.
Did he say it was above ground or underground?
He said it was above ground than what he saw. He said I can only see some. He said bunkers and some other stuff, but that and some military erected buildings. And that's about it. He said it was a pretty good size, and it was totally surrounded by razor wire. Whatever they wanted to keep out or keep in was within that wire. And it was definitely guarded. And it was definitely, he said, the dude that told him don't veer off the path of the lead vehicle, he said he was dead serious. I was like, holy crap. He said, there's a whole lot of shit around here that you don't know about. They stick in these rural mountains just because there's no population there. You see anything?
So all black BDUs with an American flag on them.
Yep, that's what I remember. Him telling me that. That was probably worked at that hospital in the late '90s. So probably late '90s when I heard that. Actually, the last time I talked to that dude, there was an old Irish doctor that come from Ireland, and I hated that fella. His last name was Mahoney, and we both hated him. And I talked to this old nurse that told me this story I said, "You seen Mahoney lately?" He said, "Yeah, he's been here." I said, "Next time you say see him, tell him Sean said fuck you." Yeah, he'd write these crazy shit in orders that in the middle of the night, he's probably dead now. He was at the end of his career anyway. He uh, he would write these orders where you do pulse oxes in the middle of the night, which would you check, put a little red light on the end of the finger and check what their oxygen, how much oxygen they got in the bloodstream.
I don't know
And
exactly what you're
he
talking
was,
about.
yeah. And you go, do these spot checks, and if it fall below whatever, according to what was on standing orders, you got to call the physician that's on duty. And he said, "Why in the hell you calling me in the middle of the night over a damn pulse ox? You can do whatever." And I was like, "No, I can't. Orders are to call the attending physician. You're the attending physician. What do you want me to do for it?" And then he'd sit there and cuss. And next thing I know, I get an order, and then I get a call in from my director saying, "Sean Mahoney's already fussed about you calling him in the middle of the night." And I was like, "Well, are we still going to do the same damn thing?" That yeah, until he changes the policy in the hospital. And I said, "All right." But am I wrote up? Nope, you're not wrote up. I just had to talk to you. All right. Do I need to change anything? Nope. Okay. I'll talk to you next time I piss him off. Get
I know you just said something about seeing a UFO on top of a mountain. Can you describe that?
the one I saw on top of a mountain. Let's see. I was my late brother and myself. Uh, we went up and spent the night on a ridge up there on High Knob, and there was this microwave tower up there. Probably some ABC organization owned that or whatever. It's military grade stuff, I would assume. And we had an old ball of Jack Daniels and some Coke, and we sat there and BS all night and drink Jack and Coke. Next thing I know, I was like, "Man, I must be drunk or something." Look up in the sky, and there's these four lights that were just doing this, and they changed color, from red, blue, green, back and forth. These four lights were just circling around top of this big tower, and all of a sudden it would into the sky, and you could see it, and they disappear. And a few minutes later, they come back down to this tower, and they would do the same thing. And my brother said, "Are you seeing this?" "Yeah, I'm seeing this." "What is that?" I said, "I have no clue." And he got kind of jumpy and said, "Buddy, we can't go anywhere. We're sitting here drinking." He said, "All right, well, I'm going to get sobered up here pretty soon." I was like, "All right." But we sat there for a good half hour before it stopped. He wanted to leave, and I said, "No, man, we can't leave here because we had two or three Jack and Cokes." But I think we left a little early. He was driving. I don't think he was. Yeah, he wasn't that bad. But yeah, that's one of those crazy memories I had with my late brother. Couldn't tell you what that was circling around. Was it a UFO or was it a phenomenon caused by that microwave station up there? Don't know. There was one TR3B that I reported to New Fork, that National UFO Reporting Center, back in 2009.
Hmm.
I used to have that. I've got that link somewhere in one of my browsers where I reported it. It was back when, let's see, I saw a movie with my then living girlfriend. Thank God I got rid of her. But come home after it was the that Avengers movie, whenever it was out, 2009, whatever, I think.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. I think it was
It was
2009.
like 2009, 2010, somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around. Uh, we came home after watching that, and I jumped out, and the place I lived had a carport. I didn't pull my car up underneath the carport, but jumped out. I just so happened to look up above my house, and there's these two big, brilliant white lights above this big old oak tree in my backyard, probably 100+ foot oak tree. I'm like, what the hell's that? It was bright, and then it just slowly moved, and then all of a sudden you see the red strobe light in the middle, and then there's three lights in a triangle fashion. And it was just the strangest thing. And I sat there and looked at it. I pulled out my iPhone 4 and went, okay, I can't see it. I can see the damn thing, but I can't, take a picture of it or do a movie or anything of it. You can hear me talking to my ex. Then you can hear us describing what it is.
Okay. Was it
You can't
moving
see
the
it.
top of the trees or anything like that?
What it did was it slowly moved, and it was perfectly silent. And it moved over top of my house, and then it turned and went in it was just like a left degree turn, and then went off. And for whatever reason, I could have threw a rock and hit the damn thing if I threw it hard enough. And I thought, well, could I go and get my 45 and shoot at it? And I was like, oh, I don't want to do anything like that. Something popped in my head. If I get out on my back porch and start looking at it, this thing would beam me or some crap like that. I don't know. So I didn't do that. And I went in and grabbed my, I had a Sony camera or something like that. Grabbed it, and by the time I got the camera and the battery in it, then it was gone. I was like,
So like it took off very fast then.
no,
Was
it
it
was
like
gone.
a
It was by the time I made sense of it, I was like, well, hell, I can't take a picture with this iPhone. It's not functioning.
Mm.
So I said, well, I got a Sony whatever in the house camera. I went and grabbed it, put a battery in it, come back out, and it was gone. Couldn't tell you if it flew off. Well, I had to fly off, but I thought I had enough time to grab that camera and come back out. But I had a good 5 minute look-see at that thing.
You said it was about 80 feet across?
Give or take 80 to 100 feet, but it was, fairly dark. It's probably about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock whenever the movie let out. And it was probably about 11 o'clock by the time I got there, back to the house.
All right.
Perfectly
Next question
silent.
was there any military bases around the area where you
There
where
was a
you seen that?
munitions plant. There's a munitions plant where I lived in Kingsport. There's a munitions plant off probably about 3-4 miles in a straight line from where I lived, and it's heavily guarded, double barrier guarded fence and container wire and all kind of stuff. You can't get on without a military pass and all that kind of crazy stuff. But where it was flying from or flying to was actually over top of a paper mill. It used to be a Mead paper mill, and it was Willamette paper mill last time I knew whoever owned that paper mill, where it was flying to. But it was, over top of that particular paper mill, the airspace was controlled. And then you had, what was the other big thing in Kingsport? Gee whiz. Big chemical plant. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. Kodak. Yeah, Kodak. Kodak chemical plant. All that airspace was closed off. Only things that could fly in and fly out was medical helicopters.
So quite possibly military caught it on their radar if it wasn't ours.
Oh, here's the caveat here that I didn't tell. As it banked left and went in the direction of the paper mill that was directly behind, you could look at all kinds of stuff and look at it from a map. It was just straight shot to the paper mill. This heavy bladed helicopter come from the opposite direction in the same straight line that this vehicle, whatever you want to call it, was flying. And I caught that on the audio with the chopper flying over top of it. And it was, literally it was in the same pathway that it was flying to. So I don't know if military caught a hold of it or if it was saying, well, we need to catch up with it and escort it or whatever. But then he just said, what do you and Bass know of the Bridgewater Triangle?
The Bridgewater Triangle is up in the New England area, if I'm not mistaken. Like people report seeing UFOs, strange cryptids. If you want to talk Bridgewater Triangle, you got to talk to Chaos about that. 'Cause he's like up near the area. He knows all the pretty people report seeing pugwudgies, UFOs, aliens, cryptids, um, ghosts.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff right in that triangle. I've heard anything and everything that you wanted to talk about on a show like mine, or the shows that we are associated with, is right there in that triangle,
Mm-hmm.
more or less.
Like I'm not too. I've never heard any reports of like dog man in the area. I wouldn't doubt it, but like Bigfoot type creatures.
Let's see, what's that dude's name? Uh, those Phantoms and Monsters. What's that guy's name?
Lon Strickland.
Lon Strickler, yeah. I think he said something about Bridgewater. There was a couple of dogmen reports up through there. Definitely go over to Phantoms and Monsters and look that up.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a
was
good
a
blog.
fan
I
of his.
check that blog every day.
I have been a fan of his blog for 20 years. As long as I was, looking up crazy stuff. A waste of all time in my office looking at his freaking page. So long before I even thought about doing this thing. Let's see. What's what's this? Still question it. Hard to explain emotionally. Oh, missed half the story there. Let's see. Doll says cigar shaped 4x10 traveling approximately 5 miles an hour. That's interesting. Where'd you see that at, Doll? Have you ever seen any aliens? I've never seen any. Well, I don't know if you can. I've seen some weird shit in this house on my cameras. I kind of wonder if there's aliens in here, but
well, you got everything else in there.
I haven't looked in the last little bit since I started doing the Admi Authority. Gave me some exorcism prayers to start saying.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a damn thing. Haven't heard of a damn thing. Haven't felt a damn thing. No shadow people. No nothing. And thank you, Admin Authority, for that. Crap. I said a prayer before I got on, so I didn't do my usual prayer before I got on it, or at the start of the thing. So I did say one right before I got on.
Remember there was this story of a guy who's on a four-wheeler.
That one,
and he got abducted by some like power lines or something like that. Oh, what the hell was the guy's name?
who said
A few
that?
years ago.
What? Where'd you see that at?
Phantoms and Monsters.
Oh, Phantom. Oh, okay. Let me look at it. Phantoms and Monsters. Is that the newest blog?
Like strange. Possible skinwalker on board those stairs.
All right. I'll just pull that up. Eyewitnesses and see what's going on here. The glitch in the Matrix. Mother disappears, then appears again. Whoa. Hello. That's interesting. Glitch in the Matrix. So there's all kinds of little sightings with that. What was that thing over in England or around Europe where there was these two little kids come out of the woods and they spoke a strange language, but their skin was green? There was a boy and a girl. I can't remember what the name. Do you remember that story? It was way back. I have to look that up. Now I've got. I'll look that up after I get done with this. Let's see. You got the glitch in the Matrix. Mother disappears, then reappears again. Cross country from her family from unknown reason. She's unable to contact her mother, and communication with the family is compromised. Then something bizarre occurs. When I was 22, living across country from my family, I tried to talk to my mother 4 or 5 times a week. After 3 months or so, she stopped answering her phone. So I called other people looking for her. My father didn't answer. My grandmother wouldn't talk to me. She said she was busy and just hung up. And then no one had heard from her. No one knew where she was. Lasted a few weeks. I was starting to freak out. Then I got a message from someone about her estate and started crying. I called my dad over and over until he picked up, started crying when he heard my voice, and then hung up on me. That was strange. I kind of went into a trance with no information. I had no idea what to do. I couldn't afford to fly home. I was living with someone helping with the kids, so I couldn't just take off. And if she'd been dead 2 weeks, I'd already missed the funeral. Family of faith mandates burial within 48 hours death. That's a Jewish rite of burial. 48 hours, or was that 24? Can't remember. In 4 days after
Uh,
4 days after the call with my dad, I was on the train going into work, and the car shook hard for a minute, then stopped, and the lights went out. A minute later, it started again. The lights came on and off. We went, but I thought someone must have moved because the empty seat across from me had a person in it now. Then my phone rang. I answered without thinking because it was my mom's ringtone, and she freaked out immediately and started crying and talking frantically because I'd answered and she'd been trying to find me for 2 weeks. Wow. Sounds like she was in another reality, maybe. That's crazy. Strange stuff. Yeah, Phantoms and Monsters, folks. If you want to be freaked out with some of the stuff Long Strickler gets a hold of, he gets reports. There are decades worth of strange true tales over there. Let's see. Woods. Sean, did you see the video where the old lady was holding a child by its hand while the child was floating? Was that the one with the kid with the red coat on? Is that the one you're talking about? Yep, I remember.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, and then they got caught, and
That
all of a
one's
sudden,
hard to tell. Like, that was very strange when I seen it. I was like, what the hell? It looks like something was. It looked like the kid was in a tractor beam and the mother was trying to like pull him down.
or the kid was a fairy and it was floating up or whatever. It's strange. Whatever the hell it was strange. I don't know if it's real, fake, or whatever. You just can't tell. It's enough to go wow about it, but yeah, the alternate dimensions. It could have been the lady was in another dimension. There was a fellow. I can't. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find his name in my Discord server. Pull him up real quick, so at least I can get the name right, and maybe I'll bring him back on.
Sean, I got a question for you. What do you think about dimensional shifts / rifts?
Dimensional shifts, plausible without doubt. My near-death experience with deja vu and stuff. There's a lot of difference between what I remember before my near-death experience versus what I can associate with other people in my life, saying, "Hey, like in the backyard here, there were gooseberry bushes, and I remember playing croquet around those gooseberry bushes when I was a kid." In this version of wherever the hell I am now, those gooseberry bushes was never there. And I'm like, okay. Couldn't tell you. I've asked a couple people. Unfortunately, I was not able to ask my late brother because, by the time I got out of the hospital, I was just so fucked up and, wasn't straight in the head for a while. Let's see. There's my Discord icon. And he was just starting to find out, I got a new diagnosis of cancer. So he was going through his own personal hell while I was trying to recover from my own personal health. So we never really got to talk much about it. But there was a couple of people I talked that was family and said, nope, there wasn't anything there. And my sister, I remember she had a problem. She's got a problem now. She can't remember most of her childhood, and it stemmed from a car accident she had. And I remember the car accident. She had a pretty good sized car accident. I remember talking to my brother about it, but I never remembered her having a problem or issue remembering her childhood. There's some stuff I can talk to her about. She has no clue what happened when we were kids. I couldn't tell you what that was. Don't know. Let's see. Caller alumni. Nope. Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, there was this guy that if I can remember his name, I will definitely go let you guys know. He said his mother, um, let's see, mother that he knew when he was a kid, was irresponsible. Didn't really have any kind of gumption about her to do anything in her life other than whatever happened. Didn't have any self worth to say, "Well, I want to be educated" or whatever. And one day he comes home, and his mother walks out and out of the house, if I remember the story right. But he lives over in England, I think, somewhere. I wish I had him over here, but he's on an old show and I had an entire thing with him. But he said that his mother left for something, had to jump on a bus, and he tried to chase after her to find out where she was going. And she was gone for a good 24, 48 hours or something, and then wound back coming back. And the person that came back, he said, looked like his mother. Never thought there was any missing time whatsoever. To her, it was like she just left and went to the grocery store and come back. I think that was the scenario that he gave. And but the person that come back was not the same person. Had no. This person was all go for it, get educated. I think he said that she got a master's degree afterwards and whatever. But he was like, I don't know what happened to her in those 24, 48 hours, but whatever happened to her changed her at her core, whatever it was. It was not the same one. Looked like her, talked like her, but she was more motivated when she came back. I can tell you. But to talk about alternate dimensions, rifts, and stuff like that, I absolutely believe in it. Sometimes, here recently, I was like, what the hell reality did I wake up in? Had that a couple of times since I woke up from the near-death experience, kind of wondering what the shit's going on. This ain't what I went to sleep in. I've had I actually said something in a Discord chat here recently that I don't know what happened, but it changed overnight, whatever it was. And maybe that's what happened today. Couldn't tell you. But get up and kind of dread life for a little bit, and all of a sudden, okay, it's not so bad now. Actually, it's pretty damn good. So,
I got a question.
I don't know. Sure.
Now you said your brother used to like go kind of spelunking, right? Like looking
Oh,
in
yeah.
caves and stuff like that. Did he ever witness anything strange, like either going to the cave, in the cave, leaving the cave?
Actually, he was one of these. We grew up in the same house, and how the hell I never got the hunting disease that he did. I loved fishing. I would fish, but I kind of once I got into healthcare, I didn't like fishing or hunting. We grew up in same dad and whatnot, but he loved to hunt, fish, and anything that had to do with outdoors, he was all about it. But I asked him, I said, "Have you ever seen a Bigfoot?" He looked at me, he said, "Nope, sure didn't." I was like, "Really?" And his best friend actually at his house up on High Knob told me one of the first Bigfoot stories that I was ever told, other than seeing the one from In Search Of. Remember that old one that Nimoy had back in the 70s?
Mm-hmm.
That was the first one. I had heard outside of that, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And I said, "Well, what about your friend?" He was talking and said, "Well, I can't say that I've seen anything like that. I've been all over these woods, couldn't tell you." But then he kind of denied it, and I was like, "All right." He was one of these uh, guys that was a yes, no, or maybe so. He didn't want any more detail other than that. If he asked you a straightforward question, you said, "Okay, how do is this going to happen?" You can't give him any scenarios, either yes, no, or maybe so. That's all I want to know. But he's just straightforward kind of guy. He said he was spelunking and he rappelled down like 75 feet straight down. There's a big ass hole over in Lee County, Virginia, which there's all kinds of caves, fingers of the Mammoth Cave System that runs up all across the border into Southwest Virginia, up in the West Virginia and all that kind of stuff. But he said he dropped down and he said, I've been into, I think this was the one. He said that he had a belly crawl and he got to a point where there was a pinch point. And he's a pretty good sized guy. He's like 7 or 6'7", 6'5", 6'6". I'm like 6'3". So me being the oldest brother, having to look up at my younger brother was kind of weird. But he got back there and he said, I had to exhale to get through this pinch point. And he said, after I got through that pinch point, and he said, I walked another 150 yards, opened up into this massive lake underground. I said, you got to be kidding me. I would never get into a pinch point. And as I said, it was just large enough for him to get through. And he said it was well worth it. He had, I need to ask my sister Robin if she still got those pictures. If I can find those pictures, I will share them one day of that lake. I remember seeing the lake pictures. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is underground. Absolutely. And he said there was fish, and it was the cleanest, clearest water he'd ever had seen in his life.
Oh, we'd love to see those pictures.
Yeah, I have to ask her. I think we had a discussion once. My brother passed away, and we kind of did the what we would do with his estate kind of deal. I don't know what become of those pictures, but I do remember seeing them. He had a whole lot of spelunking pictures that he had, and that was just one of those fascinating things. Like, holy hell, why in the hell did you do that? Said, because you can. It's something that was definitely you don't see every day. So, but yeah, there you go. There's a Mammoth Cave System last year. I think that was up till last year there was like 650 miles that was estimated. Now it's up to like 1,300 estimated miles of underground cave systems that they kind of estimated that they think that's now underground. I think there's a whole lot more. What do you think about that tunnel system that supposedly links across the United States and up into Canada? That's supposedly guarded or whatever. Do you believe in that kind
Uh,
of stuff?
which tunnel system? The one that goes from underground base to underground base?
Yep, that one.
Absolutely believe it.
Yeah, I kind of believe it too. Eh, I think all these WalMarts that pop up and then all of a sudden they shut down, another Walmart pops back up, but the building still remains. I kind of wonder what the hell they're doing. I know uh, one of those buildings in Kingsport, one of those old Walmart supercenters. It was still vacant then. I don't know what the hell's up there now, but kind of wonder why they built so many WalMarts. Is it because the FEMA camps or whatever going to pop up there on the stall in? Which kind of is weird with all this crazy stuff with what we've been going through for the last 2 years that we hadn't seen FEMA camps pop up and be relevant to
Well,
health
I
care.
remember a
How's that?
few years ago, there was a video out. I don't even think I could find it anymore, where somebody walked up on some of these train cars and
Yep.
they had benches and shackles in them.
Hmm.
This was out, dude. This was when I was very into conspiracy shit. This I want to say I've seen that video in like 2010, 2011. Like he walked up on it He had his camera on him. He looked in the little grates. You could see benches and shackles. He didn't give where it was at though.
Wow. Do you remember that video that popped up, the pictures of the grave liners that popped out back in the early 2000s?
Oh yeah,
All
where
over
it was a whole bunch
back
of
in
black,
the,
like a whole bunch of
coffin
stacked
liners.
black coffin liners and shit, and they went on for
Yeah,
like a quarter mile, and they were
right.
about 50 feet, not 50 feet, but about 50 pieces to each stack.
Right. I wonder what ever become of that. Did you ever hear what became of those?
Nah, I've never heard about what came to that, but I'm pretty sure they still have them somewhere. Why they were stacking them then, I don't know. Uh, oh man, I would love to get my cousin on, but he's probably sleeping right now. He used to work with this couple, and they used to go out to Arizona in the caves and stuff like that. And he went to this gas station. And he had an old map,
Right.
so they stopped at the gas station and they followed the old map. And when they got up to this area that they always go to, they found openings in the cave, like cave openings with military equipment in them. They went back like 2 years later with the same map, went to the gas station, and the dude gave them a new map. He was like, "Nah, that's an old map." They went up back up to there, and everything was closed off, and there was fences around it. This was in the mountains of Arizona back in like 2005, I think he said.
That pretty close to the Dulce Basin and in New Mexico.
Well, Arizona?
Oh yeah. Where is the Dulce Basin? Is it New Mexico or Arizona?
New Mexico is basically on the New Mexico Colorado border.
Hmm.
See now the Dulce base, that's a whole different story. Do I believe something
Yeah,
happened
kind
there?
of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe there's something happened there. No doubt about it.
Some of the stories that got put out about it, no.
So,
This was a
is there an underground alien base there? From you think?
underground alien base. Uh, mm, I all right. I don't mean to give this guy a plug, but there's this guy named Anthony Sanchez. He wrote a book called UFO Highway, and
Okay.
he dives deep into what happened at Dulce. He actually got a interview with a lieutenant colonel that was with this special group that was assigned to go to different places where mysterious stuff happened. He goes to Dulce. He, I don't want to give it away, but he goes to Dulce. He does like his report and everything like that. And it turns out that he said, yes, Phil Schneider was there. Thomas Costello never existed. And initially, the site of Dulce was found in the 1920s or 1930s by the cavalry back then.
Mhm.
And it wasn't an actual base. They found a cave system and they went down into the cave system and they found like old supposedly computers that had dust on them and all kinds of stuff like that. And they came like a couple of guys came into this room where there was a bunch of aliens. They made a noise. Aliens turned around. They took off running, and the aliens started chasing them. And then a firefight ensued. Then also, this was back in like the 1920s, 1930s. But there's an underground base built on top of an ancient base out there.
Hmm.
Like it goes deeper than 7 levels. Under the 7 levels is something totally different.
Something that's alien or something like the ant people or whatever the
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. That's crazy. You believe in the ant people?
Mm, well, I take that back. It's not ant people. Well, they called it ant people because of the description, like the bulbous head, black eyes, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They'll believe in actual aliens that look like ants. Maybe somewhere in some far off galaxy, maybe. But on planet Earth, no. I do believe there's a whole lot of strange shit underneath the surface of the earth that we don't know about. I really want. I know it's bad to say, but I would love to see what's under the ice in Antarctica.
Yeah, that would be cool. So the no-fly zones over the Antarctica, or
Yeah,
they
you got
say,
the
well, it's going to be.
Niemeyer station down there. That's like
We can
a
fly.
joint country base.
Hmm. Wonder how many. What is hidden underneath that ice down there? You think?
Dude, that's an ancient world down there.
What
Like
about
I
all
don't
those
know.
pyramids and stuff? Let me see if I can find something here with the pyramids. Let me see.
I do. I believe there's pyramids down there. Absolutely. There's probably a opening to the inner earth down there, like Admiral Byrd wrote about in his book. Um, Bigfoot and shit like that. No, absolutely not. Too cold. But yeah, you.
What about the aliens down there?
Oh, I believe they're down there.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's from the South Pole. You can see the. I might be mistaken, but you ever hear the Black Knight satellite?
Yep. That's been around from the 80s, isn't it?
I don't know what it is, but supposedly you can see it from down in Antarctica.
Right. Now, tell me that can't be a natural phenomenon.
The edges are too what edges are way too sharp. Plus, it looks like there's another one right next to it.
Right about
That
here.
yeah.
Look at that right over here, too.
Hmm.
Is that like a mimic of what is in Egypt and the Great Pyramids right there? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Like I know there's a.
There's a little one right there.
Hmm.
And that like the big the three. There's a little one, a big one, and a maybe half the size of the Great Pyramid, Giza on the Giza Plateau.
From that photo, you really can't get a perspective of how big it could be. But I'll say it might be bigger than Giza. I know there's a video floating around supposedly of some military helicopters flying into one of those mountain triangles down in Alaska. Hold on, let me see if I can find that shit. If I can find it, I'll send it to you.
Uh, wow, it's just interesting to me to see this stuff. Anunnaki bases. Uh, Apparently, down in Antarctica, there are dozens and dozens of active volcanoes underneath the ice, and those are melting. Ice is anyway. And what
But
about the
when
expedition? The expeditions that have went with all the heads of state down in Antarctica. Even the
a few
Pope.
years ago where they all went down
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah. So what do
Yeah,
you
that
think?
was very interesting. They got called
What
down
was
there
the
for
scope
something.
of it? Yeah.
They absolutely got called down for something. Maybe something they found under the ice, or because I remember around that time is when the news report came out that they drilled down into Lake Vostok, which is a
Hmm.
lake under like 2 miles under the ice, and they ended up supposedly encountering some kind of uh, it looked like an octopus, but it was able to shift its body to look like a man.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's very strange shit. Um,
Oh, let's see. Red says Bass and I were talking about the Alaska Pyramid too. Oh, cool.
oh yeah, that's
Can't
definitely out there.
you can't yeah you can't beat the pyramids all over the place. Definitely. There's one place here close by in Southwest Virginia, near Gate City, Virginia. The mountaintop looks like a freaking uh, pyramid. You're just driving through from Gate City into Kingsport, and it's right there, smack dab on the highway, Highway 58, I think. It looks like a pyramid to me. I don't know. I've seen a ton of mountains. I've lived in them all my life, just about. And that one place just looks like it's a pyramid. Also got the what is that tunnel? It's not on the seven natural wonders of the world. It's a natural tunnel out through there, where they actually have a train track that's built through there, and I've been down there once or twice in my lifetime, and you can walk through it depending on the train schedule, but it's still active as a train rail. And that's crazy, but it's a national park system, natural tunnel, and there's one that's natural bridge, not too far from us, from me, but anyway, kind of crazy that so much is packed into this one little area.
Well, if you got enough woods out there, you can hide anything.
Oh hell yeah! That's exactly what my buddy said. There's a whole lot of empty spaces out there here. Oh yeah.
Do you remember the report when everybody went down to Antarctica? How I think it was Buzz Aldrin had to be airlifted out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then didn't he tweet out a bunch of stuff that there was something going on down there, and then all of a sudden he just retracted all the stuff and didn't talk about it anymore.
Yep, and he talks about the monoliths on. I think it was it Mars? Was it Mars or was it? Yeah, I think it was Mars. Some of the monoliths on Mars. He was very cryptic about the shit. All right, I got a question for you. Do you believe that we landed on the moon?
I think we have. I don't think all the Apollo missions that were true. I think some of that was probably staged to get a hand boot up from. I think we were in the space race with Russia at the time. I think one or two of them might have not been true. I think we're on there. Now I've never, there's been a couple times I've had access to a telescope that I could actually see the surface of the moon and see the landing spot from one of the Apollo missions, but I've never visually verified that myself looking through a telescope. But apparently you can see the footprints and where the landing craft are still located. Now, is that true or false? I don't know. Then you kind of go into.
So you think we got up there at least once?
At least once. Now, do we have anything else up there? Have you seen all those freaking videos of these people that have these massive telescopes, and see these flying objects as they're going across the moon's surface? That's literally putting shadows on the moon, flying across it.
I seen one a few weeks ago. It was called U.S. Space Fleet on the Moon, and it had these huge ass craft like flying and landing down onto the moon. That also makes me wonder. You remember a few years ago when they supposedly bombed the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And they pinged back hollow.
Oh yeah, I remember one of the Apollo missions when they landed, it rang like a bell, if I remember correctly.
Artificial
satellite.
Supposedly,
well, yeah.
If you go back to the stories of us having no moon, then us having two moons, and us having one moon. And supposedly the moon we have now was dragged into position. Like, this is all conspiracy talk, people. But it was dragged in position, and you never see the back side of it because that's where the harness point was. Think about it. When they flew around the moon during the Apollo flights, everything went dead on the backside of the moon, even though they caught video of what's back there.
Right. What the hell's that? Is that on the moon? Yeah, 6 inexplicable images of the moon. What the hell is that? Alien base on the moon? Possible. Oh yeah, here we go. That's what I was talking about. these three UFOs that are flying across, and they've got shadows on the moon.
Another thing they said, supposedly when they landed in the crater, they looked up on the crater and there was a bunch of UFOs sitting on the crater looking at them. Maybe we got scared off. What that doesn't explain why China's trying to get back up there right now.
Well, they're on the far side of the moon now, aren't they, with their rovers and stuff? If I remember correctly. Oh yeah, there you go. What the hell's that? You think we got a moon base up there already? Or how about the Mars base? And that 20 and back program that's so popular that I actually had a dude that said he was part of it. His name's Twitter handles UFO something another. He called in one night.
20 and back is definitely possible.
He said he was part. He was actually a part of that. He said he had 20 years of memories. And the weird thing is he is a avid UFO investigator. And he doesn't do computers, other than he does a lot of handwritten recordings on paper. He doesn't do it in a computer. That's the craziest thing. And he's a younger guy, believe it or not. What is that dude's name? UFO something or other. Jeez.
Well, when I think about that, I think about the military-industrial complex and how far they are ahead of what they're releasing to us. Plus all the money that goes missing in the military budget every year that's being pushed to these private corporations like Halliburton, Bechtel, Bigelow Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, all those. There's no telling what those guys got deep down in those dungeons.
True. Oh, there you go. There's definitely something there. Can we get to the moon now? I would dare say we have the technology to get there with what we probably have in our flight arsenal. I don't know. Do we have warp capabilities or ion drive capabilities? Yeah, we got ion.
Yeah. Considering how many crash UFOs that we recovered, one of them had to have some kind of technology on it. Given we might not have been smart enough at the time to figure it out, but eventually down the line, somebody figured it out.
You hear all these anecdotal reports of aliens helping us out for whatever various reasons, and you have these deep fake videos of aliens being interrogated and choking on video. If that's true or not, I don't know. Then you get into what's happened out in Area 51 and the S3 and all that kind of stuff.
I know what you're talking about. That's old school. That's old school Art Bell and George Norrie. Yeah, not George Norrie. Who's the one guy from Las Vegas out there that does the UFOs?
Oh crap! I can see his face.
I can't think of his name.
What is it? Shit! Now I got to look him up now.
I can't think of his name. I'm pretty sure he's the one that linked up to the dude Victor that supposedly stole the video out of Area 51 where the alien was being interrogated and whatnot like that.
Somebody in the chat will know.
George
Knapp. Yep. That's it. George Knapp. He's actually still a news reporter out there in Las Vegas, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And he's still covering alien stuff.
Well, he apparently has I don't know if it's disinformation, but maybe being a shield for a government organization, but who knows? I don't know. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that could happen or couldn't happen. Art Bell just I would have loved to have been on his program or at least called into his program once while he was still doing it. But
dude, I still listen to the old Art Bell archives, all of them, like the Halloween ones, the unscreened open line callers.
Oh man, that's why I do these things. So you never know what you're going to when you open the lines. Hell, I've had one dude. What was his name? Levi called in with a Bigfoot thing out in North Carolina. He apparently had a Bigfoot sighting with his girlfriend out on his place that he was. I think they were. He said they were doing something with the old Star Trek uh, Enterprise models, building them out there. And then there was a fire pit out there, and he had his girlfriend there. And then all of a sudden, heard a baby crying, and he went out to inspect it, and there was a male and female Bigfoot with a baby Bigfoot there, and it kind of startled him. And the next day, he went back to work, told the story, and he got fired.
Damn, that's messed up.
Yeah, yeah. Levi, if you're listening, I'd love to hear from you. Call my number, brother.
That's cold blooded.
Yeah, yeah. He actually, I think he's called into the show 3 times over the last year. But yeah, that's fantastic. He said he was wanting to go back out there to, he hadn't been out there since that sighting or since he got fired, and he was debating whether to go out there if they would remember him or not. But I was like, well, I would think they would have a long memory. They'd probably remember you. But you know. Then there was a High Point.
No, go ahead. Finish. Sorry about that.
There was a High Point, North Carolina abduction / missing time guy that called in. I can't remember his name. Literally within 23 hours over in High Point, North Carolina. He was driving down the road at 45 miles an hour.
Was that the guy that went to go get chicken nuggets?
I think he just had gotten gas, if I remember correctly.
I thought he said something about wanting to go get chicken nuggets or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's probably true. And he was driving down the road, and then he saw a flash of light. And then 45 minutes went by, or an hour went by, and he was way farther down the road without any gas hand change or odometer change on his car. And he just woke up in traffic. I'm like, holy hell.
I remember
like, this is old Art Bell school kind of stuff. I was like, this is cool as hell. Man, love that call.
One of the best Art Bell calls I've ever heard was the Area 51 pilot.
Oh yeah, that dude that called in. Okay, here's my own little conspiracy theory head. Do you think, by chance, some of those calls were staged?
I don't know, because there's an enhanced. Yeah, absolutely. But with that one, there's kind of an enhanced version where you can actually hear the plane that he's flying, and you can hear the jets fly by. And then when he says, "Oh God, they're shooting at me now," you can hear big guns going off.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's on. I'll have to send it to you so you can't play it on here because I don't know if it'll get you striked or not. So, but I'll send it to you in Messenger.
Yeah, I remember the actual show. I remember that show. I'm an old Art Bell fan. Let's see, U7 Radio is a good place that I for my digital assistant. I'll say play U7 Radio or Art Bell something or another. I can't remember. There's two archives that are streaming 24/7. I'll turn it on. If I get bored, I'm gonna listen to something else. I love those EVPs that he used to do. That was
those were
crazy stuff. Yeah, had a OE. Actually, I remember this because I actually saw the video today. I have a when you open up your phone and the photograph or app or whatever will say, you have a memory for today. Well, actually, it was yesterday. It was March 1st. And it was March 1st, 2019. My brother was still alive then. He died in September of that year. And captured an EVP. Clear as day. And I said I would never play it again live on air, and I'm not going to do it. But he right before anybody talked in that video, there was 3 of us in that video. You hear this voice is a real deep, very distinct, I don't know who the hell it was. Couldn't tell you who it was. Just as loud as all the three people that was in the video. Says, I wish you both would something. And then clicking and some other stuff ensued, and you couldn't really make it out. But I saw that video yesterday as it popped up as here's a memory of something from. I was like, well, I'll be son of a bitch. That's been 3 years ago. So there you go. Crazy. That is the clearest outside of what Art Bell played with Brandon and whatever her name was. I can't remember that lady's name, but outside of the Art Bell, this is the clearest EVP I've ever heard in my entire life, and that was captured in my living room. And the reason I found that was I was looking for an old, keepsake for my brother. When he, for whatever reason, I had that keepsake there, and I recorded it and put it on the thumb drive and put it on about 3 or 4 fail safes that I'd always have that video of him. And sure enough, sure as shit, first thing you hear is this weird, strange voice. Like, I don't know who the hell it was. Maybe one day I'll play it, but right now I'm not going to play it. Maybe a little bit later.
Human or something else?
It was human. It sounded like it was an older gentleman, very like he smoked cigars or cigarettes or something forever and a day. It was not distorted. It was not a whisper. It was just as loud and clear as I'm talking right now.
Could that have been? You said that was in the house you're in now?
Yep.
Could that have been the guy that whenever you smell the cigarette smoke? Could it be him?
Maybe. I don't know. There's a couple, 3 ghosts in here. It could be the old man that built the place when there was a feed store literally 15 feet from this wall behind me on this property. Now I'll park cars on it. It'd be him. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. And there's a lady upstairs that haunts upstairs. I hadn't seen in a while. But yeah, crazy as it crazy does. But this whole place has got some haints, that's for sure. Maybe I'll play that in private for you later, Bass, if you remind me, so you can hear it. I will never play that in public. I already said I wouldn't do that.
I love it.
Hey, Isaac, what's going on?
It creeped me out a little bit, but
well, you'll probably say, "Oh shit, Sean, who the hell was that?" What's going on, Isaac? Appreciate you coming in. Oh wow, we've already done hit this for 2 hours. Well, I'm going to give a last call for alcohol. Call for the first and last person that's going to call in. Call in 931-994-6917, folks. So reminds me of the cigarette man off of X-Files. That dude, X-Files. This dude had a very deep, raspy voice. I wish I could play it, but I gave my word I wouldn't do it. So I'm not going to do it anymore. But if you go back, which I couldn't tell you which episode, there was a couple episodes I did play it live on air on Chasing the Truth over on Dark Waters channel. So I don't know if it's still over there. I have no clue how DW keeps up old content, what his rhyme and reason are for it. It still may be over there. I'm pretty sure that I've got a recording of the actual program on my MacBook, but I still got the original recording. And I didn't see it till yesterday. I was like, wow, that's been 3 years ago. Crazy. But there you go. All right, we got, let's see. Got Jesse Waters calling in. Hey, Jesse, what's going on, brother? What's up with you? Are you there? Jesse, you're on there. I can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you.
That guy you said hello.
I can hear you now. You're
Okay.
very robotic. So what's going on?
I just wonder about when you said you're gonna have the guy who channels demons.
Oh,
Did you already have him?
that dude is, I don't know. He had to reschedule. He was going to be this Friday. This Friday, I'm going to have, what is it, Greg Ludwig, the ghost whisperer, the guy that we had a couple weeks ago. He's going to be back on this Friday. So
That older guy that went to the Johnny Ramone gravesite and asked him questions and heard his guitar playing.
yep, that's the dude. That's the dude. He's
Okay.
going to be this Friday. We're going
Yeah,
to be
man,
going all.
that guy gets some ghost activity recorded, man.
Yeah. Greg Ludwig. He's been on Ghost Adventures and some other places. So we got him coming back Friday. Tina and I.
You have a show on Friday and Saturday?
Yep. Fridays are my schedule a guest thing. I may have scheduled guests over on my other two shows that I normally do during the week, but Fridays is my schedule thing with Tina. Tina and I got a whole host of people that's coming through and being on that show. It's crazy.
Guys are blowing up, man.
Well,
gotta take like Dark Waters, go on Joe Rogan podcast, and then you guys, bam, millions, something like that will happen.
Right. Well, you never know.
But
I keep doing this because I'm led to do it. Whether I become popular or not, who knows? I'm not out to try to be popular, but
yeah, fame and fortune or not, it's still just good to get your message out there.
Right. No, I'm not looking for fame and fortune. I've been accused of it a couple of times, but
well, you got to survive. You can't be a complete martyr of the bank account. you got to do something.
Well, I'll leave it at that. I've had some conversations that I was fortune seeking. I was like, oh hell, I'm not fortune seeking. I barely make enough to buy groceries every once in a while off of what I make off this damn thing. So
I go fortune seeking when I drive a damn school bus. We're all fortune seeking. What's next?
Oh yeah.
Some people just get more money than others. That's all.
Right. That's true. Well, you never know. You might find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow driving a bus. But anyway, Jesse, I appreciate you calling in, buddy.
All right.
Take care, buddy. All right. Jesse Waters, long-time listener, and he's called in about every other show last little bit. But there you go. There was another caller that tried to call in. If you want to call in, go ahead and do that. And I'll wait for you to call in. 931-994-6917. Art Bell carrying Torch Ford. I don't know if I'm doing that, but he's definitely somebody I've kind of patterned this show after, especially this open line stuff. I don't have the setup other than I've got a single line with that people can call in. I can get at least 2 or 3 people on there through Skype, but not the robust call-in line that he's got or had. Let's see. Heather Wade's got that same line, but I don't. Is she come back yet, or is she off?
I don't know. I think she's still out.
She's still out. Yeah, she'll come back on for a few weeks or a month or a few months, and then for whatever reason she says, "Nope, I'm done." Which there was a couple of years ago, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I was on her show as a guest. I spent the entire 4 hours talking about my near-death experience, which was kind of crazy. And what I wrote about today, I got to that point about encountering the devil, Satan, or whatever the hell it was. My internet went down during that thing. Well, as soon as I started talking about the devil, everything that I was connected to digitally just went offline. It took me a while. Let's see. John Paul says, Sharon, if you go around the edges of your property and have communion and take part of bread, bury it, and pour the communion wine over it in corners of the property, unclean spirits will leave. Well, I think the spirits and stuff that wound up here in the last several weeks, I've gotten taken care of because, since I started doing this exorcist prayers that I've been doing on a daily basis, I've kind of slowed down the last couple of days, but I'm still saying them, not as as often, but it has calmed down quite a bit since I started doing those exorcist prayers. That Admia Thoria was kind enough to share with me. So far, so good. But it's a whole lot of crazy crap that was going on in my life, and that sort of took care of it. But all right, so let's see who else was here. Anybody else want to call in? I'll give it about the Bass if you. I appreciate you being on, brother.
All good, Sean. All good.
Appreciate it. What are you making now? I hear your 3D printer going off.
A Stargate.
Oh shit, that sounds cool. Yeah, my buddy Julie kept saying, "I'm glad that you got me in touch with her with Bass." And I was like, "Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy."
Yeah, I told her if she needs any help when she actually receives it, just message me and I'll do my best to help her out.
Yeah, she's already showed me all kinds of crazy stuff. She's wanting to print out soap molds and all this other stuff. I can't remember what else she had a whole slew of stuff that she had in store that she's like, I want to print this out. I'm like, all right. It was amazing. I've seen some crazy stuff. Are there interlocking molds that you can piecemeal together and lock them together to get a bigger figurine or whatever out of it?
Yeah.
And you can, yeah.
Absolutely. I've seen this one guy, he made Halo Master Chief life size, which is about 7.5 feet tall, all 3D printed. It took him about 1,300 hours to do it.
Damn. Was it articulated or just a solid statue?
Solid statue.
And how much filament would that take, would you think?
You know what? It's on my Facebook. I'll tell you right now. Actually, you could share this post. I'll send it to you. It's just pretty sick. Like, it's rainbow color because it uses so many different filaments, but it's just about 7.5 feet tall.
7.5 feet tall.
Wow. Scroll down a little bit. I don't know. I'll be posting so much random shit on my Facebook page.
Dark Woods wants to know how your printer lures are going.
Printing lures are going fine. I'm just waiting for the weights to come in the mail and my airbrush gun. We'll save that.
I used to do some airbrushing when I was a kid. My dad tried to get me where I was an artist. We had a whole slew of coal trucks back in the day, and he tried to get me to start painting coal trucks and stuff. Oh crap, that's kind of cool looking.
Yeah, just all right. You got it.
I got it. That's
cool about 7.5 feet tall.
Yeah, there we go. Let's open this sucker up and see that. Dang, man. Looks like he ran out of light-colored filament, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the specs: 25 kilograms of material, 1,300 hours, 1,300 print hours.
That is cool, brother. I guess that's one of those. Well, I wonder if I could do that. And 1,300 hours later, yes, I can. So, how much would that 25 kilograms of filament cost?
About $250.
Oh, that's
about
cool.
About $250.
Wow, that is too cool, man. I like that.
Then there's one. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Hold up. This dude did a full up. Yeah, here we go. He did a full life Iron Man.
Full life Iron Man. Ooh, which Iron Suit is it? Is it the early one or the last version on the Avengers? There were dozens of them, actually.
This suit right here took this guy about 2 years to print. I just sent it to you.
All right, 1 second.
I don't know if you go. I might have to save it to
Yeah, I
my
got it.
phone.
I got it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's the one off the last Avengers movie. That's kind of cool.
All 3D printed. Then Red sent me a video of a Stargate this guy did. Yo, this thing is ridiculous.
Is that where you got the idea to print the one you got going there?
Yes.
That is cool as hell, man. I like that. I like that, man. That's too cool.
All right. We're going to Messenger. Now,
that's cool. I like that, man. I don't know what I'd do with it other than collect dust or whatever, but yeah, I definitely. Let's see. Let me see what's going on here.
That's kind of like a one-off. Make that to go to like one of these Comic Cons or something like that, just to show off. Then
Right.
you're not wearing it no
more. Let's see. What is that? Wait for the end. Well, whatever opened up ain't. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I thought it was something. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Now people have done these Stargates at If It Plays where you can communicate with somebody else's Stargate. Like, let's say I had one built like that, and Truth had one built like that. I could dial in his Stargate, and it will turn his on, and he can communicate back to me.
Really?
Yeah.
It's cool. Whatever the hell it is, but it's cool. Let's share this out. Well, come on, son. Oh, turn it off. Where that is, and then on StreamYard. Well, crap. If I can find it real quick. Got too many browsers opened up. There we go. There we are. Off TikTok. Cool. Has it got some electronics or something that obviously in there? Okay. Wait till the end.
But if you look at the one on the left, the lights are lighting up around that one.
Okay. Hey, Big Co, thanks for dropping by, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is too cool. I like this. Now, I would if I had the finances and the attraction to buy one of those 3D printers and want to do that, yeah, I would do that all damn day long.
The very cheap one, you can get one for $190.
Yeah, but what the hell would I do? I'd print it and play with it for a little bit, and relive being a young kid for all of maybe a few hours. And
Eventually
then
you find practical uses for it, like you could print stuff for your laptop, or you can print stuff for your mic stand or your headset or something like that. Or it does have practical uses.
I'm sure it does, but yeah, print off something, like your brother with that whole bunch of stuff in the background, that little studio or whatever you want to call his little office is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would be printing it off all damn day long. But where the hell would I put it? Yeah, so yeah, I could see that. I could see the sheer attraction of it. Yeah. Well, that 3D printer and myself probably wouldn't be a good mix. From a perspective of, hey, I ride around in a wheelchair. I'd probably print off enough shit that I couldn't put it anywhere and kind of mess up my tracks in the house.
I mean, you can print stuff out for your wheelchair.
Oh, you're trying to talk sense into me and saying, hey, you need a 3D print something.
Dude, you're great at designing stuff. You could design your own shit and create it. You hop into Tinkercad. I think Tinkercad. Good to go. You could download somebody else's design, bring it in and splice it and do whatever you want to it, then download it, turn it to a ST file, send it to your slicer program, make a G code for it, load it on your micro SD card, slap it right in your printer, make sure your thing is level, your temperature is right, and good to go. You set it and forget it.
Now, I have seen some videos about temperature. These things are pretty touchy with temperature. There's a sweet spot for each one of them.
Yeah, it's all about the filament you're using. Like some run colder than others, some run higher than others. Then you got all kinds of different filaments. You got the rubber, you got magnetic, you got clear, you got PLA, you got ABS.
So how long have you been printing with these 3D printers?
Me? Yeah. What is March? Since November?
Damn, you sound like you're old school. But
no, there's guys that's been doing it way longer than me. Like the guy my brother Truth works with, he's been doing it for like 3 years already. But that was when the 3D printers cost you like $1,500.
Or about 200 less, something like that. Crazy. $200 or less for a 3D printer.
Yeah, for the Creality Ender 3 straight off of Amazon, brand new. You just have to put it together and make sure your bolts and everything is tight. $189 and change. But see, there's different sizes. There's different boards. Like I have a smaller board.
Did you print a pair of headphone covers that look like boobs?
Could you print a pair of headphone covers that look like boobs? I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it. But I'm on this one website where not website, but Facebook page called Uncensored 3D Printing. You'd be surprised some of the stuff these guys make. Just because they're bored.
Can we do it? Yeah. All right. Let's try it. Oh, jeez. I can only imagine.
Nah, it's like some real flagrant, shit.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Okay.
I do not want to go to bed and go, why in the hell would they print that? I don't want that.
I ask myself every time I scroll through my Facebook.
Yeah. What would you do with whatever it is? And just because I could print it. And that's the best reason that anybody can say they did anything, just because I could. Yeah. And then you kind of wonder what goes through their fucking mind to print.
Well, technically, if you had the right filament and you could actually use it. If you had the right filament and you sanded it down nice.
I get the gist of what you're talking about. I just don't need to hear anymore. Shit. All right. Well, Bass, I think I'm done for the night since we're 2.5 hours in. But I appreciate you being on board.
No problem.
And doing this. If you want to stick around, I'm going to say a quick prayer as soon as I get the prayer up here. Apologize for not saying the prayer before, but I did say a prayer earlier today about the show. So I humbly ask our Lord Jesus Christ and our Heavenly Mother Mary that if it be in accordance with your holy will, that all curses, evil, demonic involvement, and or attacks being sent against me or the show or Bass or anybody that listens or participates in this show be sent back from whence it came. If anybody is in need of healing, body, mind, or spirit, please, dear God, send your angels of mercy and healing to them. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. All right. I think that pretty well covers it. Hopefully that will take care of it. Folks, if you want to reach out to me, the 931-994-6917. I do answer it, probably not in the middle of the night, but I do answer that phone number. Or you can text it or whatever. Just don't expect me to text you back. It costs me 10 cents to text back, but I can receive text all freaking day long. Also, it does not receive media like photos or videos or anything like that. You can send me links all day long, but that's about it. Or you can reach out to me, Sean G at imdarkwaters.com. So good night, folks. I'll see you Friday, which Southern Supernatural, my co-host Tina Bice. We're going to have Greg Ludwig. He's been on Ghost Adventures. He captures a lot of EVPs and ghosts and hunting and stuff like that. We're going to have him back for a second chance to get another bite out of the apple for what he's had in paranormal experiences. So good night, folks. We'll catch you later.